Hey there, CEOs. What's happening? Thank you guys for joining me. We are now live and welcome to Wake Up CEO. I am your host, Rachel L. Gary. And I just speak candid truth to individuals and speaking to those inner CEOs, the ones that are clear in their actions, empowered by their choices, and ready to own their direction to be the CEO of your life. So today we about to get locked in. We about to get locked in to how to create a legacy plan that outlives your motivation. Man, y'all better get locked in. We about to drop it all the way down today. So I want y'all to stay locked in with me because I have a special guest. We have in the house, D-Ron Smith. Guys, it's going to be bananas. We're going to be talking about information about leading, growing, and developing the youth, as well as leading and growing and developing ourselves to be the best version of who we are today to step into our tomorrows. So we're going to get locked in. Man, if y'all are not already ready and don't even already know, we about to turn it all the way to everyone doing, being, and having the life that they deserve. We about to talk about that and how to step into that on an everyday basis. Y'all get locked in. All right. Yeah. So
to right. Rachel's words still echo in our mind. A true CEO.
I want you guys to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You.
From great to glory we rise. CEO mastermind. CEO state of mind.
My questionnaire, the questions were just very exact and to the point of what I needed. And when I met with her in my one-on-one session, I found it to be very profound.
Excited for this. This is something I really need and something I've been looking for a while.
It's an assessment. Like, it asks questions that make you think deep about what you want your life to go.
The 10-week financial focus plan she gave me helped me to see it in a better way where it would make money.
It was basically a reality. Something that looked like a dream, but in reality it was nothing but a shift of mindset. It's a state of mind.
Out and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You CEOs. See you next week right here on CEO State of Mind.
Questions were exact and to the point of what I needed, but immediately I was able to apply some extra income come immediately this past week.
Charging $150 for these classes. So I had 30 people show up each day. I charge $150 and we're like 4 days.
I've gotten like three more clients since I revamped again. And I'm really grateful for that.
I actually hit my goal. I think I was at 158. And so this week I'm now at 170 RSVPs for my lunch party.
I have been uploading consistently, sharing it, and also promoting and marketing on. I did build up my own team as well. The business I also did crack in another client.
Welcome to the CEO Mastermind.
do you feel stuck? Like your dreams are just out of reach? It's time to change that narrative. Use life's setbacks to fuel the fire within. I'll walk you through the exact steps I took to move from $7 an hour to multiple six-figure success. The roadmap includes practical strategies, real-world mindset shifts, and the habits that help me rise against the odds. Welcome to #Poverty to Six Figures, a journey that goes beyond just financial success. This is about breaking free from the cycle and claiming your desires, transforming your life, unlocking your potential, and finally living the life you deserve. Get your copy today. Start your journey towards financial freedom. Are you ready?
6 figures couldn't change my mind.
All right. We are now going to dive into the show. And this show is about how to create a legacy plan that outlives your motivation. Guys, you guys got to get locked in. And you know what we talk about. We on Wake Up CEO. We're not going to sit around here and just chop it up and miss up a couple of words. We're going to dive right in. And today, we have the power statement of the day. We're going to have D. Ron Smith that is going to join us on the top of the hour in the Author's Corner that is brought to you by Distinguished Authors Guild, where your literary excellence is celebrated. And we got to stay locked in. Y'all know what we're doing over here. So let's talk about it. The power statement of the day. I don't need motivation to move. I need a system that tells me my feet where to go. If y'all ain't locked into what that means, we got to get locked in. We are not talking about just building a legacy. We're talking about closing in the gap between what we think that we want to do and where we want to go. How are we going to do that? One step at a time. Y'all know how CEOs do it, and especially CEOs on the show. So at the end of the day, clarity. We got to step into that first, being clear. How do we get clear? Legacy starts when you stop relying on your feelings. Take a step back on that, CEOs. When you are talking about your feelings and how you feel about a situation, that can sometimes stop you from moving forward and building what you know is possible in your life. Y'all know what I'm all about. The possibilities being endless. What that shirt say? Say I'm possible. Because the impossible doesn't exist. The word itself is a derivative of the word I am possible. So if I am possible, that means the impossible is just a made up word that is meant to stifle us and hold us down. And we ain't about that life at all. So let's talk about it. Defining what your legacy is for you. Because legacy means different things for different people. And what is for the next generation? And what must be built, the system and the structure. And we about to dive into getting clear about that. So when we're defining the legacy target, want to make sure we chime into that. When we are defining that, so my example is this. My legacy is building leaders who can lead without me. That's what I do with my leadership coaching program. I'm building leaders so they can be able to lead their businesses and help their people find success. That's total leadership. That's how we totally lead and we start building a legacy, because it's not about really me. It's about what my gift is to the world and how I utilize that gift in the best possible way. So we got to get locked in totally to that. Y'all with me? We got to dive into that a little bit deeper. So when we identify the breakdown points where motivation dies, because motivation and inspiration are different. So I am a leadership coach who inspires. Motivation is internal. So when you are motivated to do the things that you're doing, sometimes something will get in your way and that motivation cease. So at the end of the day, for your motivation to be uplifted, for you to continue on your path, sometimes you got to say, what is it that has stopped me from being motivated in the first place? So when I'm tired, I stop posting. Follow up or tracking so your mission continues moving forward. Because we're not about backwards momentum, we're about forwards progress. And the only way to have forward progress is to make sure that we're not just being motivated sometimes. We're not just letting some things motivate us. We are having the opportunity and the time to really clearly understand that what in our life is our why. Why do we want to do what we're talking about doing in the first place? Because once we wrap our minds around why, and I mean, it has to be something strong, guys. Like I use my why. My why is to always have peace. That's my biggest why. My biggest why is to always live my life in a peaceful situation. If something is messing with my peace, or if somebody is hindering me from having peace, I eliminate those people from my life quickly. What peace are you holding on to? What are you holding on that is stopping you from having your peace? So we're gonna take a quick break. I want y'all to put that in your mind. What is stopping your peace? And as we take a quick moment for that, we're gonna jump back in and we'll talk get back right to what is stopping your peace and how to get that peace back. So stay locked in right here on My Radio Chicago, Support District Radio, where we already know it is more than radio.
Right. Rachel's words still.
My questionnaire, the questions were just very exact and to the point of what I needed. And when I met with her in my one-on-one session, I found it to be very profound.
Excited for this. This is something I really need and something I've been looking for a while.
Assessment is an assessment. Like, it asks questions that make you think deep about what you want your life to go. Assessment is an assessment.
The 10-week financial focus plan she gave me helped me to see it in a better way where it would make money.
It was basically a reality. Something that looked like a dream, but in reality, it was nothing but a shift of mindset. It's a state of mind.
Out and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You CEOs. See you next week, right here.
Questions were exact and to the point of what I needed, but immediately I was able to apply some extra income come immediately this past week.
Charging $150 for these classes. So I had 30 people show up each day. I charge $150 and like 4 days.
I've gotten like three more clients since I revamped again. And I'm really grateful for that.
I actually hit my goal. I think I was at 158. And so this week I'm now at 170 RSVPs for my lunch party.
I have been uploading consistently, sharing it, and also promoting and marketing on. I did build up my own team as well. The business, I also did crack in another client.
Welcome to the CEO Mastermind.
All right. Thank you guys for locking back in with me. Man, y'all know what it's about at the end of the day. We are all about building and growing and having a legacy over here on Wake Up CEO and in different ways and how to grow your business, how to grow your brand, how to be the best version of you each time. We gotta stay locked into those things because you know what? Sometimes things will distract you. And things that are distracting you from your potential and your goals, those are the things that we do not want in our way. So, as I'm saying, how to create a legacy plan that outlives your motivation. That's what we're talking about today. And the first thing is that what motivates you is what we have to keep in the forefront. The things that are where we're always thinking about. Those things that will keep us moving forward. Those things that will keep us doing the right things for our lives. So when you are unfocused, have you noticed when you're unfocused, you're not productive? You're not making any money. You're not staying on task. You're doing things that are out of your norm because you are not aligned. So that is when we have to get back to our motivation, and we have to remind ourselves of why we're doing or why we want the outcome that we want in the first place. So we started off and we were talking about identifying the breakdown points where motivation dies. So at this point, we have to determine, where does motivation die in us? Everyone's situation is going to be different. Every time that something happens, it's going to be a different situation. But if you are self-aware, that's one of those 4 pillars of self that I have in my course, as well as in my book, hashtag Poverty to Six Figures. When you are aligned with those 4 pillars of self-aware is one of them. And when you are aware of things that trigger you, good or bad, then you are able to put things in place that allow you to stand tall and move forward in your goals. So when we were talking about, when I'm tired, I stop posting. That's an example. So you follow up or tracking, so the mission stalls. The mission stalls the second that you stop doing the things that are necessary for its growth. Thank you for joining me, Dean. Thank you for joining me, Abel. Thank you for joining me, Smith. So at the end of the day, how do we find success in that? Where does success from that come from if we are not aware of what stopped us in the first place? CEOs, if you guys are new to Wake Up CEO, when I take a moment, that means I just want you guys to take that in and think, what has ever stopped me in the past? Some of us don't have to go as far back. But when we're thinking about how we move forward, we have to be in tune and align with what has stopped us currently. If you are not where you want to be and you're not doing the things that you want to do, what stopped you before? What's stopping you right now? Because once you get aligned with being aware, that opens up a whole new door. And when you open up that door of being more aware, you're able to what? Do something different. You'll know where your motivation ends. You'll know the things that sidetrack you. And when you know the things that sidetrack you, what do? Put things in place that stop allowing the sidetrack. And then when we're choosing the legacy lane, that's a home, a business, a community, or the youth. If youth development is the lane, your legacy plan must include mentorship, structure, and leadership training. So the reason why we're getting clear, because we got to understand what a legacy starts. Legacy starts when you start determining what the legacy is about. What is your legacy all about? And when you get clear with that, then we can get to motion. Because motivation is a match. Legacy is electricity. I want to hear y'all hear it again. You can be motivated for a second. That's a spark. When you're building a legacy, that is you plugging into an outlet of everything that you want for you, your present, your future, and the future beyond you. So do you understand the difference between that match, that one-time spark, the one-time thing that might have sparked your attention, that one thing that might have made you want to learn more, as opposed to a legacy when you're talking about building something great, when you're talking about stepping into a new lane, or when you're talking about expanding your lane so your voice is heard, seen, and you are building for generations to come. That's a different kind of mindset because the spark is gone. Electricity is a constant current. So I want us to tap into some energy. We want electricity over here. We ain't tapping into those sparks. So anybody who's tapped into a spark right now, something that just sparks your curiosity, something that sparks your thoughts, I want you to ask yourself this question. Is that spark moving you towards your legacy or pulling you from your destiny? And when you ask yourself that question, drop that in the chat. I thank you for joining me, George. Thank you for joining me, MJ. I thank you for joining me, Cass, Edgar, DJ. Thank you, Melvin. Thank you for joining me. Savon, thank you for joining me. Clay, thank you for joining me. John, thank you for joining me. Hi, off DSP. Thank you for joining me. I said this. Carolyn, thank you for joining me. Martise, thank you for joining me. Carolyn, thank you for joining me. This Star, thank you for joining me. Tom, thank you for joining me. James, thank you for joining me. So, guys, I want to make sure that we get back to it. So, a spark. So, we getting clear on how to build that legacy. Because the show today is about how to create a legacy plan that outlives your motivation. Because your motivation is that spark. Do you see how quick that spark is gone? That's a spark. Electricity is the current. So we're gonna move. We're moving through a current and moving with the current. So the spark is motivation. So how do we keep that spark and make it electricity? That's what we're talking about today. Because a motivation, so if it's not written, it can't be repeated. So once you make a determination that you are going to move beyond a spark and you want to be electric, how you become electric is tapping into a source that's bigger than you. That's what a legacy is, guys. The legacy of where you want to go and what you want to do is bigger than you. You included. Hold on. I don't want to say because I hear a lot of times people say I'm building a legacy for my kids, but they don't include themselves. I'm building a legacy that grows me, stretches me, uplifts me, and moves beyond me. Do you hear what I'm saying? I want to make sure at the end of the day that you remember that the legacy must include you. And it travels through you to others. That's why a legacy is electricity. It's not temporary because a spark is the temporary motivation. So whatever sparked you is not what's going to sustain you. So we got to find those things that continually sustain us so we can be electric through that legacy. Hey there. We got Yolanda, CEO Yo. Guys, if you are not locked in with CEO Yo, she is right here every Tuesday, 5 to 7. Right here on My Radio Chicago. Support District Radio with all these awesome hosts that we have. We have the best radio personalities. 312 Awards is coming up. Y'all get locked in. There are 5 different radio personalities that are nominated from My Radio Chicago. And yours truly happens to be one of those radio personalities that is locked in. And it's going to be set in the room on March 8th at the 312 Awards in Stone Park. I am already ready because as my friends say, we stay ready so we don't have to get ready. So y'all get locked into that. Then we have Cherise Sloan. She's of Highly Productive Chicago. If you guys are looking for a promoter of your business, your brand, your event, you as an artist, get locked in with Highly Productive Chicago. You can go to highlyproductivechicago.com or you can hit her up on Facebook at Highly Productive Chicago. Get locked in with Cherise Sloan. So she says tickets now. Tickets are now available for the 312 Awards. Secure your spot at Chicago's biggest celebration of music and culture. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today at 312musicawards.com. One more time, that's 312musicawards.com. And see yours truly, as I am nominated in the category of Radio Personality of the Year. And I know that there are people out there who voted. Continue support the movement, support the information, because all we're doing over here is we are winning, no matter what. That's what we're doing. We're setting ourselves up to win and win for generations to come. So also, she puts in big news. Rachel L. Gary's powerful new book, Freedom Has GPS. We're taking the message worldwide and setting our sights on selling 10,000 copies. Join the movement. Get your pre-order book now at highlyproductivechicago.com. You can go ahead. If you guys are looking at this on either Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, go ahead and look in the comments and go ahead to that link. You are going to get locked into the movement. The book comes out. We have just announced that the book comes out Juneteenth. We are about freedom. Freedom is about growth, and it's about growing beyond the norm. Get locked into Freedom Has GPS movement. We are on the move. Thank you, Sharice, for dropping that stuff in the chat. If you, like I said, guys, if you're looking for promotion, get with Highly Productive Chicago. So, guys, as we were talking about being locked in and going past that spark is that match. So we determined that you cannot, one more time, we cannot build upon just a spark. The spark is the ignition. And when you get that ignition, that we are ready to build a legacy, the ignition sparks curiosity. The ignition sparks you to thinking. Ignition sparks you to planning. But listen to me, CEOs. How do we stay motivated? How do we stay motivated to keep building that legacy when the challenges hit? When you're tired? When you don't have enough money? When your car is about to be repoed? When you can't pay your rent? When you've lost your job? How do you stay motivated? Let's jump into that in being empowered. Because building systems that keep working when you get tired is how we get empowered to build a legacy after motivation. We have to create repeatable rhythms, those systems that are repeatable, those tasks that are repeatable, not robotic, but repeatable. Something that you can do, you can show someone else to do, and you still are moving forward. This is how we grow, how we build that legacy. You have to build your minimal legacy system. 3 non-negotiables. I always hit threes. I do things in threes. I believe in priority being number one. Remember, my priority, guys, is peace. My number one priority in life is to have peace. So everything I do, I filter it through peace. This week, I got to use myself, for instance. Hey, I'm a firm believer and I practice what I preach. So for a couple of weeks, I have disturbed my own peace. So today, I made a bargain with myself. It's okay. Because if you can't trust you to do what you say you're going to do, how are you going to trust others to help you? So I held myself accountable to my goals. My goal is to make sure that I work with at least one new CEO a week. So to work with one new CEO, that means I have to be out here talking. I got to tell you guys what I do. I got to be walking in my purpose. I got to make sure that I'm showing up for the mentees I already have. Now, all that is to say that when you're saying you're going to get locked in with something, is your locked in negotiable? Are you negotiating with yourself and saying you're going to lock in? I'm not. So I have an event that is coming up in March 24th. You guys can go ahead and sign up for the event. It's called It's Time to Marry the Business. So if you guys are looking to marry a business, first you have to fall in love with you. Because if you're not in love with you, your business cannot grow. And for your business to grow, you have to be more aligned with the person that you need to be for your business to soar. Because we're not talking about just having a business. We want a business that's making money, not draining our pockets. We want a business that is constantly growing and constantly helping its customers. And we want a business that thrives in the community and starts where we can hire other people from the community so they can grow. That's what we're looking to do. So you can go ahead, guys, and get locked in to It's Time to Marry Your Business. You can go to www.sayiampossible.com and click on workshops. One more time, you can go to www.sayiampossible.com and click workshops so you can get locked in to the event that is coming up on the 24th of March. Every month, there's a different event, a different set. You can also buy a package where you get every event for half the price. Get locked in and stay locked into your growth. And that is, it's time to marry the business. Y'all got to get locked into that. But when we're talking about building the momentum, we got to build the momentum to get through the motivation so we can grow. That's a moment, CEOs. I want y'all to take that in. Because in those moments is where we grow. In those moments is where we soar. In those moments is where we build. In those moments is where we have a legacy. A legacy is something that is gonna outlive you. It doesn't have to just be monetary. It can be your message. It can be who you work with. It could be who you inspire. I want to be an inspiration everywhere I go. And at the end of the day, to be an inspiration everywhere I go, I got to inspire myself. Inspire myself to be the best version of me every single day. How we do that? How we do that, CEOs? We talking about. We got to talk through that. So at the end of the day, what we got to do is that we got to say that today I'm going to do what is necessary for me to stay motivated. Today, I'm going to give myself a goal, and I'm going to give myself, okay, I'm going to set the plan for my legacy. Minimum legacy systems. This is what 3 non-negotiables. Track, teach, touch. 1 trackable system. 1 teaching moment, 1 community touch point weekly. That is a system. My email strings, I'll use myself for instance. With my business, I have email strings that I put out. And when I put those email strings out, it has a point of reference. If it's my affirmations in the morning, the point of reference is to bring us at peace and align us with our higher version of us. Because we're calling into existence what we want. We're not looking for what we want. We're calling that into existence. It exists because of me. It exists because I'm going to do what is necessary for its arrival. I'm calling into existence the power within me to emanate through me to achieve goals. So we got juiced up jokes and crunch line powered by Stuckey's. Don't delay. Get yours today. If you have a party, Stuckey's does wholesale. Go to dwoods.com. You can go to dwoods on Facebook and get locked in to get some of those crunch line and some of those juiced up jokes. Guys, get locked in. That's another one of my mentees from the CEO Mastermind. Then we have Hibachi is a new Black-owned hibachi restaurant on the south side of Chicago. Let's support Marissa Terry. The address is 522 East 79th Street in Chicago. That is 522 East 79th Street in Chicago. The name of the place is Hibachi. Y'all got to get locked in. Get some of that good food. I went in there, guys. I bought my team some food. Man. Now, that day, I didn't want any. But once they got the food, I was like, man, I should have got me a whole bowl. And I was like, man, I missed out. I missed out on that. But at the end of the day, my team ate good that day. Because Chef Marissa, as she's called, she had some salmon. Guys, y'all got to look at the page, man. The food looked marvelous. But that's all about her building her legacy. Now, Chef Marissa also has a program for teaching young chefs and working with young kids. So that business is something else that she does to give back to the community. I want to just talk about how when you're building a legacy. You can't pour from an empty cup. So Chef Marissa could not give back to the community if she had nothing to give. So I want us to do this. And this is about being clear. We're going to go back a step about being clear. We can't give something we do not have. How do we move forward when we are stuck? First, we got to get unstuck, get aligned, and then start moving forward. So that's what it's about. So when you're creating a leadership bench, so you're not the only engine, because when you are building a system, you can't be the only person in the system. That's why we talk about building teams. And last week, guys, go back and watch that episode. We talked about building teams and what's the most efficient, effective way to do so. At the end of the day, how you build and grow a team is an extension of how you build and grow you. All of everything is centered from you. That's why the name of the upcoming workshop is Marriage to the Business by Loving You. Because you got to start with loving you. Because once you fall in love with you, that means that you're going to treat yourself better. You're going to practice true self-care. You're going to actually do those things that allow you to be more successful. You're going to start watching the things that you do under self-discipline. You're going to make sure that you're being consistent and showing up for you. You're going to boost your self-esteem by making sure that you track the one goal that you have. One more time, guys. Peace is my ultimate goal. Peace should be everyone's ultimate goal. And when peace is your ultimate goal, you're not going to disturb your peace with no shenanigans, as my friends will say. So when you're creating a leadership bench, all right, we're talking about when we're creating a leadership bench, you want to identify 2 to 3 people to train as leaders. Give them a lane and check in. We're not micromanaging. There's enough of that in the corporate America. So we're not going to micromanage, but we're going to hold people accountable. Communication. Hold them accountable. Communication means you need to let them know what they need to do. What does success look like for you? As you're building a legacy, you have to be clear on what a legacy looks like for you. And when you get that clarity, that means that at that point, once you get clear, you're able to then identify and give other people information so they can show up. This is how we build a legacy. The legacy is only built through the information that we put out. And when you're checking in with your team, you're just checking in. So let's say they got a project. My team has a project. Freedom Has GPS's goal is to sell 10,000 books. To put 10,000 growth books in the hands of individuals who are looking to be more financially stable and more financially in tune with being free of the shackles that have stopped them before. Their mission is to sell 10,000 copies. Put me in spaces and places to make sure that I am delivering their message. Have conversations with me to remind me what that message is. I have a daily check-in with one of my team. Every day when I talk to Highly Productive Chicago, which is the official promoter for Freedom Has GPS, she is doing a magnificent job. If you guys do not see those posters, they go out. She's posting every day, consecutively, putting out there that consistent message. That's what you want. You want someone that's out there putting that consistent message out there. Because your movement doesn't have legs if you're the only legs that are moving. Your movement does not have arms if you are not moving. So how we move? We get some people who are checking in, we can check in with. So I check in with Sharice daily. And our conversations normally start off with my favorite phrase, hey, promoter of the year. And she says, hey, CEO, best-selling author. We always speak in the affirmative. Before I wrote a book or before she was promoting anybody, that's how we talk to each other. And then we discuss big things of business. Same thing with my campaign director. I had the same kind of conversation. Each day we talk about business. We talk about how we're moving that business forward. So let me give you some moments of insight on how we continually move towards where we're trying to go. You're not burned out from doing too much. You're burned out from doing it alone. Because when you are alone, trying to make things happen, that means that you're doing everything. I know many super people out there. They can do this, they can do that, they can do this and that. But they're normally burned out. You're burned out because you have too much on your plate and you have not learned how to delegate. You have not gotten clear enough with your why to be able to give someone else the information so they can help you with the success. Every situation with me got to be a win. You win, I win. You win, I win. We both win. That's what true leadership is. True leadership is all about you winning and I'm winning. I had a winning conversation earlier today with Q's Designs. If you guys are not locked in with who Q is, y'all got to get locked in with Q. And Q's Designs, she does custom apparel. Now, let me tell you about this custom apparel. We're not just talking about some custom shoes, some custom shirts. She has custom socks. And she has custom socks. She has custom hats, custom ties, and she's about to launch her clothing line. So when I first came across Q and what she was doing, I was just ecstatic because I was like, I love unique things. I'm just one of those people. When I see something unique, I always want to. I'm not being anyone else. I'm always being the best version of me. And I got this thing, as my son calls it, the snowflake syndrome. That's what he calls it, the snowflake syndrome. And when he's talking about things being a snowflake syndrome, I'm like, I used to ask him, what does that mean? That people want to be unique. Oh, okay. Then I'm a snowflake. I'm about that life. I can be a snowflake if that means that I'm being uniquely me. God didn't make any duplicates. There's only one Rachel L. Gary. There's only one you. And there's only one you. I don't care if you're a twin. If you're a twin, you guys have separate DNA. You have DNA that match, but you have separate characteristics. Your fingerprints are different. That means that you are uniquely you. And when you uniquely being you, man, you running with it. You making things happen. So we have to make the mission easy to follow. Everything that we have to do has to be where people can follow what we're doing with ease. Playbooks, templates, routines. This is how we create a legacy that outlives your motivation. So if you have a weekly agenda, an outreach script, a youth session outline, and a scoreboard, those are measurable steps. If you're not measuring your progress, you're not progressing. If you don't know if you are moving closer or further away from your goals. One more time. If you don't know that if you're moving closer or further away from your goals, then that means we're not tracking. We're not paying attention. We don't know what's going on within our own CEO lives. So how do we create a legacy plan that outlives your motivation? We get locked in. And when you get locked in, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So you guys stay locked in right here with me on My Radio Chicago, where we support district radio, where we already know it's more than radio. Because at the end of the day, that's how we grow and be the best version of us. So stay locked in right here. And we'll be up next. Coming up, we're going to have Mr. D. Ron Smith, who will be coming with us to have great conversations about his new book, as well as his I Dream Academy. Y'all stay locked in right here on My Radio Chicago. Support district radio, where we already know it is more than radio.
Questions were exact and to the point of what I needed, but immediately I was able to apply some extra income come immediately this past week.
Charging $150 for these classes. So I had 30 people show up each day. I charge $150 and like 4 days.
I've gotten like three more clients since I revamped again. And I'm really grateful for that.
I actually hit my goal. I think I was at 158. And so this week I'm now at 170 RSVPs for my lunch party.
I have been uploading consistently, sharing it, and also promoting and marketing on. I did build up my own team as well. The business, I also did crack in another client.
Welcome to the CEO Mastermind.
GPS, reminding you that you are born to soar and build a legacy. Pre-orders are open for 50% off. Get the tools for the bag at www.sayiampossible.com.
You don't change that.
Guys, I swear, this is, man, I am loving having a conversation about building a legacy. That is what my new book is all about how to build that legacy and how to be free, mentally free, so you can start growing and developing, being the best version of you. And we were diving into about empowerment, how to be empowered to do those things, how to grow and be that person that you want to be so you can have the life that you're looking to have. That's what it's really about at the end of the day. We got to make sure that we're ready to turn our purpose into building a legacy. And we're gonna dive into that right now on how to own, how we're gonna own, how to create a legacy plan that outlives our motivation. We can be motivated to do something, but are we ready to step into what we're doing? So we're gonna talk a couple of minutes about a couple of things that will allow us to we've already gotten clear. So we talked about being clear. So what we talked about in being clear was this: define the legacy target. What does the legacy look like? What are we trying to do and who are we trying to serve? Identify the breakdown points where motivation dies. Where does motivation die? And you're trying to rise it back up so you can live, so it can live again. And the third thing, choose the legacy lane. Either it's home, business, community, or youth. You have to choose one lane at a time. We can't be doing 15 things and still trying to make everything happen. That's not a thing. That's not a plan. If that's the plan, we plan to fail. And on Wake Up CEO, I am giving tips to keep us from planning to fail. That's never a plan over here on Wake Up CEO. Then we talked about the empowerment piece. Man, we jumped into building your minimum legacy system. What baseline looks like for you. Second, we talked about creating a leadership bench. So that means we're getting us some team members to get on the train. So you're not the only one engine. There's only not one engine. There's multiple engines. We all working together towards the plan. That's what it's about at the end of the day. We got to stay focused on the plan. And the third thing we talked about is making the mission easy to follow. We got to drop playbooks. We got to drop templates, and we got to get routines in place. Because if we don't do those things, we are not moving forward towards success. We are just moving. And we're not just talking about motion. Because motion can be emotion. It can be backwards motion. It can be lateral motion. And we're trying to have forward motion. So that's why we got to make sure that we are locked into being clear, empowered. And now we're going to jump into my favorite part, y'all know, ownership piece. Because I own everything that happens in my life. I own the good, the bad, the indifferent, the things when I let things slip, when I let things slide. We own when we are allowing individuals to steal our peace. We own whether we are focused or unfocused. Man, you got to get laser focused on your goals and laser focused on your mission. And now we're going to talk about how we own that. So we're turning our mission into a living system others can run. One more time. We're turning the mission of building a legacy into a living systems so other people can help you through it. You got to document. Turn what you do into a playbook. That's what we're talking about, being empowered. So what we're doing to turn that, we're turning our ideas. One page SOP, we're not talking about being lavish. We're talking about being simple, being simplistic. So when we're simplistically thinking, we're going to turn what you do into a playbook. What you do weekly, who does what tools are you using, and what does success look like? We got to lock in on those things. because we don't lock in to what success looks like, what success feels like, then are we actually moving towards success? If we don't have a playbook on how we were successful, how do we repeat those successes? If we're not documenting when things are lost, then how do we know not to travel that same road twice? So sometimes when we're writing things down, we get lost in the fact that it's work. And I'm here to tell you guys, as CEOs, if you did not know that life was a challenge, and you're stepping into that challenge, and you're growing and developing, being the best version of you, then Wake Up CEO just woke you up to that. What you want out of life is work. It don't have to be a job. There's a difference. Work and a job are two different things. Because when you're putting in work, you're putting in work for your growth. You're gaining insight so you know how. You're being the best version of you so you can have, do, and be in the life that you're looking for. And when your energy is drained, you have to watch where your energy goes. Because where your energy flows, that's where your energy goes. So if your energy is on shenanigans, I use that for instance. It's just my word of the day. So if you are in shenanigans, that's where your energy goes, because that's where your energy is already flowing. So how do we move forward where we're no longer talking about what's going on and we're actually mapping out what's going on? I pause, CEOs. When I pause, that's just so it can sink in. If we're looking for growth, what are we doing to grow? And once we figure out what we're doing to grow, are we documenting it so we can give that to someone else so they can grow as well and help us grow our seed? I talk about it every week that we always talk about we want something now, but we haven't planted a seed. We ain't watered no seeds. We ain't put no dirt on there. We haven't fertilized anything, but we're looking to reap a harvest. Get in the dirt, get in the mud, drop your seed down, getting in the mud and putting in the work, understanding the process, doing the project, getting your assistance, and moving forward successfully. That's how we turn your mission into a living system others can run. And we were talking about how you get your document. And then we got to train leaders using the same process every time. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to do the same thing forever. Because as technology changes, as we grow and we learn, as things come up, then the game plan might change. There's nothing wrong with a pivot, guys. I had to pivot 2 times in 1 week. And the pivot was because, one, I was making a pivot because something wasn't moving the way it was, the way I needed it to go. And then after a further conversation, we recognize that what they want, what I want, and how to get us both what we need. Win. That's all I'm doing on Wake Up CEO is winning. All we doing is winning over here. We not having a conversation about losing. We win no matter what. Why are we winning? Because we're preparing ourselves to win again. So when you're winning, let's just go to when we're winning. When we're winning, have you noticed how happy you are when you're winning? Let's put some thought behind it, guys. When you're winning, have you noticed how happy you are when you're winning? So when you're winning, you are ecstatic. But let's say you're losing. Let's say you're losing. So
through my questionnaire. The questions were just very exact and to the point of what I needed. And when I met with her in my one-on-one session, I found it to be very profound.
Excited for this. This is something I really need and something I've been looking for a while.
Assessment is an assessment. Like,